Greetings, documentary film lovers worldwide. My name is Tyffany of Tyffany Howard Films. Welcome to another episode of DOCversations. As you know, I'm an independent documentary filmmaker, and I get this question all the time. Tyffany, how do you fund your films? If you've seen any of my documentaries, you know they're unique and different. They don't meet the Hollywood mold. I know that. This is my spiritual assignment. So I'm guided by the universe when making these films. I don't follow Hollywood. I follow my spiritual guidance. So I'm committed to making these films because, as I mentioned, these films are my spiritual assignment. So the money comes when the money comes. I can't control the when or how the money comes. I simply say, universe, divine mother, if you want me to make these films, I need the money to travel to these places, interview these brilliant people to make these films. I need money for an editor. I need money for equipment. So initially, I had a Canon Rebel something, a package. And I wanted better equipment. I can't remember what film I was working on. My first 3 films, I think it was filmed with the Canon. And I was working on my 4th film. I needed to travel to Austin. I needed to take Joanna, my first assistant camera operator, with me. So I'm like, Spirit, you want me to make this documentary? I need money. I need better camera equipment. True story, February 5th, I believe it was 2023, February 5th, 2023. I am sitting in my living room in Sedona, Arizona, in meditation. What comes through is, your time here is done. I knew exactly what Spirit meant. It was time for me to move. I said, Spirit, where shall I go? Tucson. Okay, Spirit. What about the film? What about the camera equipment? Spirit said, you're going to sell your house. If any of you remember, at that time in 2023, the house market was horrible. All my neighbors were telling me, house market is horrible. You're not going to sell your house, blah, blah, blah. I don't listen to these people. I listen to my guidance. I put my house on the market. I had a buyer at the end of the week. First showing was on Monday. By Friday, I had a buyer. That person bought the house. I sold my house, moved to Tucson, had enough money to buy my camera equipment. I love Black Magic cameras. To pay for my travels to these different places to interview my featured participants. The film at the time was Feminine Archetypes Across Cultures and a Journey Through Matriarchy. So I had to travel to Philly, I had to travel to Santa Cruz, California, Chico, California, Concord, California. I traveled to Australia. I was going to interview someone in Mexico City or in Mexico, but I sold my house and there was the money for the film. The money came, right? I didn't know the how, I didn't know the when, but the money came. All my films are self-funded or funded by the universe. Because my films are so unique and different and purely educational, I personally think that educational films are also entertaining, that learning something is entertaining. Okay, so the number one purpose of my films is to educate. And if people are entertained, then great. Okay, so I haven't come across any investors yet. My Spirited Tyffany documentary, my third documentary, I needed some assistance with the audio for one of my interviews, so I had to hire a professional sound person. I couldn't do it. It's not my, I'm not gifted in that yet. And so I just asked Facebook friends if they could help me and donate to help me pay for this sound person, and I believe 5 people donated. So I had enough money to pay for the sound work. Other than that, no one has invested yet in my films. But that's neither here nor there. It's my spiritual assignment. I have to fund the films, and the money comes to me from the universe. That's how they get funded. Another story. So many of you know, if you've watched Spirited Tyffany, A Heroine's Journey, that I experienced homelessness for 4 years. Or during that time, my Audi was repossessed. I was a lawyer, successful lawyer. My Audi was repossessed in 2015. And by 2016, I was on my spiritual journey, and I remember I was in Phoenix, and I received a call from Wells Fargo telling me that they sold the Audi at auction, but I still owed over $16,000. I didn't have $16,000, so whatever. Fast forward to 2023. I go outside, look in the mailbox. There's a letter from Wells Fargo with a check for $6,200 and something saying that they had made an error and here's this $6,000 check. Money comes when I need money. And this happens, quite regularly. The universe provides, the universe funds my films. And sometimes I have to use a credit card. So from 2014 to 2024, I didn't have any credit card debt. I didn't have any credit cards. Again, I was experiencing homelessness for 4 years. So I didn't have any credit cards. Didn't use any credit cards. Couldn't get any credit cards. Okay? And it was great for me because I didn't want financial debt, which I thought was debt, but it was actually a blessing. Anywho, another conversation. But anyway, so 2024, just last year, December, was it December? Anyway, December, a little bit 2024. Anyway, my guidance was to get a credit card and to get another one to fund my current film, Dream, Wisdom, and Healing. And I've used the credit card. And something wonderful happened. February of this year, I received an email from the marketing director at Sophia University, one of my alma maters, and the director, Roland, asked if I would make 3 promotional ads for Sophia University's 50th anniversary. I had never made any promo ads. I had no experience, but I knew the university. I graduated from there. I knew I could do the work, and I knew this was the universe saying, here's some money for you to make your film. So I accepted the work. I was paid handsomely, which I used the money to pay for my trip to Italy, which is the last interview for my film, Dream, Wisdom, and Healing. So again, the money comes. I never know when, I never know how. I just say, thank you. I know for some people, it may sound like so much work. It may sound like it might be stressful that I don't know where the money will come from. Also, I'm a substitute teacher in the public school district here in Tucson, and that help pays for my living expenses and pay, for the credit cards to pay those bills. But the universe provides, and it comes the way it comes. You see, I have to be flexible. I have to adapt. I'm on a spiritual path. This is my spiritual path. This is why my films are unique and different. I don't know if there are other people out there who live the way I live, who contribute the way I contribute through my guidance. This is how the Divine Mother wants to express herself through me. So I have to be open. When the woodpecker comes and tells me an opportunity is coming, and that is what happened. I heard a woodpecker outside just squawking or whatever they do, cowing or whatever it is, cawing, it's cawing, cowing, Tyffany. Anyway, I hear woodpeckers come and they tell me an opportunity is coming. That's how I had an inkling about the Sophia thing. I didn't know what it was going to be, but I checked my email and there's this offering, this work, and opportunities come. I always get some kind of notice from woodpecker. Woodpecker is an expression of spirit. So I'm always surrounded and supported by the Divine Mother. So that's my story, how I fund my documentaries. Some of you may say, well, what about grants? I've tried to get grants, but these people don't understand my films. As I mentioned, they're unique, they're different. They're not Hollywood formulaic films. I love education. I love educating others. And so they come out the way they come out. I am a spiritual teacher. So the spiritual, the metaphysical, the mystical, consciousness, They're all in my films. What can you expect? I mean, I have 4 degrees. Of course, my films are going to be a reflection of the one we call Tyffany Howard. So all my films are funded, and they're funded as I've told you. And yes, sometimes it's stressful. Not now, not at this stage in my spiritual growth. Now I know it's just going to come, and I just have to be open, and I don't wait for it. I know it's going to come in some kind of mysterious way. So I've adapted, I've grown, I've expanded with this process of listening, asking, acting, and trusting the universe. So that's it. If you out there would like to support this work, this co-created work with the divine and all these wonderful, brilliant people I get to meet who are the featured participants in these films, please donate. Go to my website, www.tiffanyhowardfilms.weebly.com. Email me at tiffanyhoward@yahoo.com. Donate. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, you can support my work by renting the films. My award-winning film, Feminine Archetypes Across Cultures and a Journey Through Matriarchy, is now on Vimeo-On-Demand. All of my films are on Vimeo-On-Demand. You can rent them, even though the first 4 are on YouTube to watch for free. So, if you like to support this work, my spiritual assignment that I do happily, this is an honor for me and privilege. If you want to be part of the dream, dream, wisdom, and healing, if you want to be part of the dream, you can. If you support these films, you're supporting humanity. You're supporting the elevation of consciousness on the planet. For me, this is right livelihood. From the Eightfold Path, Buddhism, right livelihood. I'm just the vessel through which it is coming through. Thank you for your time. Peace, love, and film.